Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Considered to be trivial and unchallenging. It's the audience of one show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you tend to get your podcasts from. On today's show, we discuss if lying on a resume is really a bad thing, sex and drugs, and getting a new skull. I am Andrew, maestro of the run sheet, next to the guy who once got lucky at the top of a parking garage. It's Dick. I love to take fart walks after meals. Schisler.
It's not that I love to do it.
Oh, you love it.
It's something I have to do.
It must be done.
Yeah.
The consequences, if not done, are irreversible. Oh my gosh. Well, this is our last show of the year. I just want to start the show off by thanking all of our listeners throughout the year who have given us 1 hour every week, devoted their precious time to listening to us. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you more in the new year.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah, now we're actually recording this before Christmas. This show will air after Christmas, so I would ask you how your Christmas was, but it hasn't happened yet, so we can pretend.
Oh, it hasn't? I don't even know.
How was your Christmas
I don't even
that
know,
hasn't
man.
happened yet?
Well, I already told you my holidays are boring now, so it's just another Tuesday for me.
Yeah. Are you planning to attend any holiday parties, either Christmas and or New Year's?
Yeah, one of my buddies invited me to their family's thing tonight, so that's where I'm going tonight.
Oh, cool.
So,
is it like a black tie formal thing?
No, they said it's
Love those.
It's a white elephant gift, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to get a gift, so do I have to participate?
Jeez, man, you are such a cheap bastard.
Well, no, actually what it is, and I was like, you know what, I could go because I'm going to be here and then leave from here to the party.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, do I really want to waste my time going to Target and just doing all the shopping and dealing with all that crap?
It will be busy today, yes.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Certainly. So are you just going to skip the party, or are you going to show up without a gift?
I'm just not going to participate.
Okay. But the thing is, a white elephant party is kind of the whole reason for the party, and if you're not involved,
it's the
kind of
family,
weird.
and that's just what they.
Okay.
Because a lot of families do this when you're
for sure.
big, and it's like, hey, don't buy a gift for everybody, just bring a white elephant.
We
gift.
are doing it this year as well.
So, and I'm not like technically in the family, but I know everyone.
Well, speaking of gifts, I'm super disappointed. I did purchase something for you for Christmas, and
my
it has
gosh.
not come in yet, and I'm so upset that it hasn't
No,
come in yet. So
I'm not worried
I will
about it.
have to give it to you after the new year, unfortunately. But I'm super excited
Oh,
about
man.
this gift.
If it has anything to do with poop, I'm going to be ecstatic
You'll
about
just
it.
have to wait, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Speaking of Christmas parties, I do kind of feel like social media, maybe like Instagram, has really changed the game when it comes to parties now. Because people will post things about parties, and then everybody else go, oh, man, I gotta replicate this. And
Yeah,
it's usually
some are fun.
It's usually the females. Just going to throw that out there.
Well, some of it's fun.
They got to amp it up, and now the party game is like really changed. It's no longer just a gathering. We got to do all kinds of decorations, and it's even like at Halloween time too. It's really changed the game.
Well, I mean, that's
man.
what. Who was it? I think it was announced last week or
It's like a feedback loop,
like
basically.
on Fridays. Like Big Lots is declaring bankruptcy. Finally, they're actually going through it, and they're closing all the stores and everything. I read was like, where am I going to get my decorations?
You mean Party City?
No, Big Lots.
Okay, well, Party City is also
Oh yes,
closing,
but that's a
closing
local
stores.
thing.
And
But
no,
big-
they have 840 worldwide
Oh really?
stores,
Oh,
sir.
I thought Big Lots was
You need
bigger.
to get outside the Montgomery County area.
Well,
just
Big
a
Lots is
little
really
bit
big.
more. Big Lots.
Yeah. So, but it's
But
funny.
we actually have a story about that. I don't know if you want to cover it right now, but
no, but I was just thinking who goes to Big Lots. I always wondered like who goes there.
I don't know. I don't know that I've been to a Big Lots in a while.
But you know what it is?
It's a discount store. Yeah, like
But
all the
of
leftover
what?
stuff.
Of what though?
I believe it's like a little bit of everything. You've got like home decor, clothes.
Okay, see, I don't think
It's like
I've
leftover
ever
stuff.
been there, and so I was like,
I think
oh,
it's like Marshalls and Mervyn's and things like that. I
Okay.
think. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they're closing, so if you want good deals.
Well, with Party City, I've got a question. Do you think the executives got like parting gifts or like what do you call it?
they got a free mask.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like not a parting gift. What is it? When someone gets laid off, I forget what it's called.
Severance?
Severance. Yeah, you think they got a severance package? It's like here's some helium balloons and like a Batman costume.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess everyone gets their party stuff online now.
Yeah, and it had gotten exceptionally expensive. See, you don't have the children that require costumes and things like this. I found myself, especially years ago when my kids were younger, going to Party City more often. And man, you don't walk out of there without dropping $100. It's just everything is extremely expensive. And I typically, most people, if you don't have kids, you're only going once a year, and that's like for Halloween. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I guess a business just can't, exist with that infrequent of
Well, that's why Spirit,
customers.
whatever,
Right, comes and goes.
comes and goes.
Like a spirit in the night.
I actually had a friend who did that with his wife, and they made some cash. And it was funny though.
Ran a spirit store?
Yeah, ran a spirit
Okay.
store in College Station, and they didn't live in College Station, so that was interesting. So they would have to be driving to and back and forth
Mm-hmm.
from there. And he basically said this is the adult version of having a fireworks stand.
Yeah, it kind of is.
That's basically how he described
literally,
it.
it's
'Cause,
the same
you-
business model.
Like you get cash, and you just hope at the end of the well, I guess it's like what 2.5 months,
Yeah, they probably
something like
maybe,
that.
Maybe
2
less
months.
than that. But
yeah. It's like you just hope that you made some money at the end because you're making money as
Mm-hmm.
it's open because someone's always coming in. But it's like you never really know because you have to find those employees that only work for a
Yep,
month
temp.
and a half.
Yep.
So,
And I'm sure they're real reliable.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty funny. Speaking of reliable and fun stuff, well, I always like to follow up on stuff, and I can't wait
Sure.
to watch this. We're both going to watch this. I was telling you, I saw this 60 Minutes, whatever news segment actually did a piece about the pagers that blew up some of those Hezbollah guys. And that was
Yeah.
one of those questions I always had. Like, I wonder how that really happened.
You got to have an in at the manufacturer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So they did this whole thing, and so apparently they talk about it, and it's really interesting. So I'm very excited about it because that's
Okay.
one of those things you're not really
I'm
privy
glad
to.
you're excited about that.
Well, those are the kind of questions I ask when I read stories like that. But you'll never know the true story because it's such a like covert / like it happened. It happened in a big enough scale where they reported on it. But it's also like we're never going to really tell you the secrets of how we put bombs and pagers and we got them to the bad guys.
Right.
And
But now they are.
but now they are. So I was like, oh, that's a nice little Christmas gift for me. And
Why are you so interested in this?
Well,
I'm a little nervous.
well, no, I just
No,
love.
remind me, I'm not going to open any gifts from you this year.
Well, no, not like that. I meant more of those kind of stories that always amaze me. And it's like, I wonder how this really, like, what really happened in this scenario. And not just because someone blew up like their pockets and stuff. It's just more of the complexity of the situation. And especially what you're trying to do is hurt people. So you got to be very hush-hush on that. So I kind of like it. It's kind of like how did they keep Biden not showing his senile self for so long? See, that's again, if they had like a reality show of like some intern that just had a GoPro for him,
Just followed him around?
like him and Donald Trump, that would be the coolest thing. Like that would be so entertaining. Especially what I love about these politicians too is they always try to put a front up because they're always running for re-election.
Sure.
So it's got to be strange to be around someone like that 24/7. Like, can you imagine those poor women and men who've married this person and it's like, I love you, we're college sweethearts, we fell in love, it was romantic.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lobbyist or he's, oil guy, but now he's a politician. So now I just kind of watch him. I just kind of sit there and just watch him.
And they're constantly being watched.
I know, isn't
I
that
kind of feel like, speaking of constantly being watched, I kind of feel like the fact that everybody has cameras on them today
Yeah.
has affected the way I behave in public. Like, I don't try to get too high or too low because I know at any one given moment somebody could take a picture of
Well, do
me.
you usually get that high?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Like what draws attention to you?
Yeah. Or like if I'm in a bad mood, I don't want to outwardly show it in public because I'm afraid somebody might take a picture of me and then post it with like current mood. And I don't want to be that guy. So I try
Yeah.
and be pretty even keeled now out in public. And I imagine
But
it's that way with politicians.
Well, Paul, for you, I wouldn't worry about it. Like who's going to do that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think maybe it's just me.
But
When
you don't create scenarios though. Like
No, but
politicians do.
I might be part of a scenario though,
That's true.
or near a scenario that
I mean,
unfolds.
politicians definitely do.
Correct.
And
But it's different now than when, like, say in the 70s and 80s when you were a politician, where there just wasn't. There wasn't
you
as
could
much.
literally have
You could embezzle a lot easier.
You can do all the illegal stuff for fun. That's one thing I loved about that movie, Charlie Wilson's War, with Tom Hanks. Like that was a real person, and that's his real reputation. Where he just had women in the office, very attractive women, and then he would just hang out with ladies of the night and do his business dealings.
Sounds like great work if you can get it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just so funny that we're glorifying it today.
Yeah, sure,
and
of
it's
course.
like, I thought this was bad.
It's bad.
I thought it was.
I like the way you say bad. It's sometimes kind of funny to me.
But yeah, did you? Last time we spoke, you doing all right? Do you have a good time?
I'm doing okay, man. I had to go to the CVS and buy some medicine for my stomach, some antacids. And let me tell you, medicine is not cheap, man. It's expensive. And so I opted to buy the generics. And generics are kind of funny to me. I find it funny that this can even exist. Because if you think about it, it's like we let somebody else develop this product, whatever it may be, and we just completely steal it and put the word generic on it, and we can sell it right there from out from underneath them. Like, for instance, this only works in medicines for the most part, in foods. But like, what's stopping somebody from doing this with like an F-150? You know what I mean? Completely,
Well,
just
China.
completely steal it, and then just like call it like truck. With the active ingredient, it has the active ingredients of an F-150. It's just called truck.
No, I see. It was funny. It's really funny. This is how my brain works. People remember it was a couple years ago the Pfizer thing finally like settled out, and all these opioids and like this traumatic thing happened to a lot of people in this country. And I was hanging out with friends, and they were complaining about this family. What do they call the what is it? You know what I'm talking about? The family that was like in charge of the opioid crisis in a way. Sadler? Is it Sadler?
Nothing is coming to mind. I'm terribly
But
sorry.
you know what I'm talking about? They made like a Netflix movies. They made all sorts of like Hulu. They did all this stuff. And I go, you know why they did that, right? And they're like, why? I was like, because they only have so many years on their patents, so they're gonna make as much money as possible until the generics come out.
Until the generics come out. That's exactly right.
So
That is exactly
I was like,
right.
I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it's funny that you say that you talked about generics. Okay, I got to ask you. I had another social scenario I want to ask about.
All right.
So I was reading. You know, I've been liking that stale cracker guy with his cooking, and he has really some good spices.
Right, your spirit animal.
So I was like, and I read and that Academy carries his products. So I totally forgot that the holidays were going on. So my friend and,
Surprise!
yeah, my friend and I, we're gonna do a boil, and I was like, oh, let's go to Academy and see if they have XYZ boils from this guy, because it's like his Creole seasoning is really good. So let's see what they got. So we get there, and they're like sold out. Of course, everything is just sold out. Well, they have this huge. Just to let people know, Academy actually has a barbecue section that's like seasons and injections and stuff like that. So if you're looking for something, try it out. Well, anyway, there was this brand called Meat Church.
Correct.
And I've never heard of that.
I have.
And I go, Meat Church. I was like, why have I heard of that? And this guy behind me, unsolicited, goes, oh, it's one of those YouTuber kind of guys that they became famous. And I was like, oh, like Stale Cracker. I was like, but Meat Church just sounds kind of weird. And he's with his wife, and I don't really pay attention to that, but he struck a conversation with me, and he's like, yeah. And I go, yeah. To me, it kind of sounds like a whorehouse, but for women. Meat Church. And I turn around, he's sitting there with his baby and his wife. And I was
This is one of those moments you probably should have thought about what you were saying before you said it.
yeah, and
Meat Church does sound non-denominational. I'll say that much.
yeah. Well, I mean, it just sounds like a club that the women would go to. And I turn around, I look at him, I'm like, okay.
Whoops. Probably should have kept that to myself.
But it got me thinking, it's like, he's the one that initiated the conversation. He doesn't know who I am. So
Sure.
should I really feel bad
No,
about...
it's your fault, dude. You shouldn't have talked to me. I'm a stranger at Academy looking at spices. Don't talk to me.
Well, it's not that. It's not. I'm not saying don't talk, but it's kind of like, what do you should expect anything when you talk to a stranger. Like,
He's obviously not a listener to AOL. Otherwise, he would know better.
That's my game the card. What's up? Future? No, actually, I go, that baby is a future onesie.
Awesome.
But no, it got me thinking about, you have to accept anything that can happen if you.
This is true. When you engage with strangers in public, you never know what you're going to get.
But yeah, when I just turned around, that was great. I was like, there's his wife and there's the baby.
Awesome, man. Let's go ahead and kick off this show because we've got a few killer stories, no pun intended, that I want to get to. 2 people accused of killing and dismembering a man in a possible love triangle have been arrested with some major help from Google Maps. This is wild, man. But according to authorities in Spain and the El País newspaper, the investigation began in November 2023 when someone called the police and reported a Cuban family missing in Soria, Spain. Well, nearly a year later, in October, Google Maps published Street View images of the remote region and reportedly caught one of the victim's killers in action. Oh my gosh. So I want you to show this picture to the onesies. And what you see there, it looks like a late model Volvo of some sort with the hood or the trunk open and a dude putting 2 dead bodies in the trunk. Oh my God. What a time to be driving by with your little Google car there. Unreal, man. I bet this is the last thing he thought he was going to get, caught with was Google Maps.
Speaking of Google Maps, I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen the Google Maps competition?
Google Maps competition. Is it folks that try and get captured by Google Maps?
No,
doing something like killing somebody.
It's people who like Google Earth and they show like an image.
That is generally Google Earth.
And the people have to find it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They've got a geo find.
Yeah.
Where that image is in the Earth or on the Earth.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
And some of them are a little savant-y with it.
Okay. I know that some people will go through the trouble of mowing like male genitals into their yard, taking a picture of it, allowing like Google Earth to take a picture of it and then posting stuff like that, which is always, genitals are always funny.
But I'm not talking about that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, there was a game years ago that was really popular, geocaching stuff. I imagine this is similar to that, except it's all done virtually. It's a picture of something, go find it on the Earth. It's kind of cool. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not that difficult of a concept to figure out, Dick.
It's called GeoGuessrs.
Oh, look at that. Well, it had been 15 years since Google Maps had last visited this area. So, I wonder if that would have been one of the games. Find a murderer.
Well, that's what got me thinking. It's like you got to be either on Google Maps all the time or. But yeah, I found that really interesting. They do it with other stuff too. I mean, I discovered it because they do it in video games because some video game maps are really big.
Sure.
And so they'll do like, hey, find this location, and then they like, this actually does it in real life. These dudes are psychos because they can just find anything.
It's kind of scary.
And no, I mean it's pretty funny.
But what chance, though, that Google Earth's going to be driving by at the exact moment that this guy is putting 2 bodies in the back of his Volvo?
I imagine pretty high.
Really? I mean, it's been 15 years since they photographed this area, this remote area of Spain, and this guy just, how long does it take to put 2 bodies in the back of a truck, Dick? 30 seconds?
No.
Maybe a minute? No? How long does it take?
Well, where are we? Are we on the 3rd floor?
Look at him. He's right there on the...
Yeah, but he didn't murder them right there.
No, but they happened to drive by right as he was chunking them in there. I mean, 2 seconds later, the trunk is closed.
It's true.
And you wouldn't know, and he'd still be on
Well, that's why you do it at night, bro. Because they don't do Google Maps at night.
You're right. I guess he just figured he was so remote and he's brazen he can do it in the middle of the day. Yeah. Right there hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I get it.
An employee at the Dallas Police Department was fired following accusations that she lied about her college degree to receive a promotion. Gina Fowler Strickland was a police report representative. I'm not sure what a police report representative was terminated on Thursday after a disciplinary hearing with the police chief, blah, blah, blah. So this is kind of interesting. She had been on the job for X number of years, and she was applying for a promotion within her department when they figured this out. But my thought is, if you lie on a resume and you get the job and you can do the job, does it really matter? I mean, at that point, if you're doing the job well, does it really matter if you went and got that college degree or not? If you can do the job. But I guess if you're a police officer, it's a little bit different.
Well, I think it just depends on your moral ethics, really. Because you could say the same thing about undocumented workers.
I mean, okay, let's put it this way.
Like they
when
steal
you were-
someone's identity. Like say, like I stole someone's identity and I did this job, and you're like, you're not Frank.
Right. But if he was doing the job, does it matter? So, for instance,
don't know.
let's put us in our scenario when we were contemplating starting the Audience of One show all those years ago. If I'd come to you and said, man, I have a long history of doing middays at a major market radio station as a personality, and I fake all of this, right? And then you get in here and we do the job for 2 years. It turns out I was faking all of it. But I've been completely slaying behind this mic for 2 years. Does it matter? Or are you going to fire me right then? Be like, oh, well, man, you really didn't work for WKRP like you said you did.
No, actually, what I would do is I'd call you into my office, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, Andrew,
Oh, no.
I need to know.
Are you gonna expose
your
yourself?
level of dedication.
Oh, no,
this
you
ra-
are gonna, you
to
are
this
gonna,
radio
you
show.
are gonna expose yourself.
And then you'd be like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, do you know Sandra? Over in
Sandra.
You know Sandra in accounting?
Sandra.
And you go, yeah. I know her. She's kind of got to stick up her butt. And I would pull out the gun and be like, I need you to take care of Sandra for me.
Oh,
If you want to keep
my. And I'll just say, no, I have a basketball shooting robot that I will have
No,
do that
it's
for
a
me.
fart gun. But no, I mean, some way, again, it's like your moral ethics.
Well,
Like,
again, I think in her case, it's the stakes are a little bit higher because she was charged in June 2023 with fraud and fictitious degree over allegations she was lying about a post-secondary degree. So she actually got arrested. In my scenario, I'm not getting arrested because I don't think it's necessarily against the law to lie on your resume for a normal job. But if you're a cop, I guess it is. So she got thrown into clink.
the only thing I can think of is the liability to it.
Oh, it says she failed to show up for a court hearing and a warrant was issued for her arrest in September. Maybe that's why. But still, again, she had to go to court over this.
Yeah, but it's also the liability. I imagine there's huge liability because it's kind of like being a lawyer. Like if you lied on your resume and you didn't pass the bar, and so you tried cases for 20 years,
Yeah.
and then they're like, hey, he actually was never a qualified lawyer,
Obviously, he was, though.
but
And I know that happened.
But the way the law happens is all those court cases he was a part of.
Oh, yeah, it could be completely null. You
Yeah.
have to- yeah, you're right.
So if she arrested somebody or did something involved in,
Not qualified.
hey, I mean,
Maybe
people
so.
it's all about finding loopholes, baby. That's what life is today. So that's the way I see
Same with
it.
surgeons. I don't know that I want a surgeon faking that. All right, it is now time for sex and drugs. Dick, could you please play my sex and drugs music, please? Thank you very much. That's right. Sex and drugs. Dick, which do you want to go first? The sex or the drugs? But we have some stories involving both.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like in general. What do I want to do first? I was very confused.
I usually do the drugs first, but
Well, I immediately thought it was, well, it depends on what she looks like and it depends on what the drug is. So,
All right, let's go ahead and start off with the sex. A new bill would ban sex toys from major retailers in Texas, including Walmart
I saw that.
and Target. In a bill introduced by newly elected Republican Representative Hillary No Fun Hickland, she calls the services or the devices obscene and wants a law limiting where they're sold. Dick, I know this is very troubling for you because you, sir, on the regular pick these up as little parting gifts from the Schisler Manor, and your go-to place is typically Walmart.
yeah.
So first of all, I guess I just wasn't fully aware that Walmart and Target was in the game, so to speak, of selling
I read-
pleasure devices,
No,
but
it's-
apparently they are.
No, it's funny because like because like every retailer can do their own thing. It's kind of like how CVS doesn't sell tobacco anymore.
Okay.
I think it's CVS. Yeah, I think it's CVS that does like zero tobacco.
And you haven't been back since.
No, and absolutely not. But I ran into the same issue when I was trying to get condoms, and I was at HEB,
A likely story.
and they had them locked up.
Yeah, it's, items like that are typically some of the most stolen because people are embarrassed to get them. So they will.
Well, I wasn't, and
You're
I
like,
was.
yeah, I need a pack of the minis over there. You don't care, do you? Yeah.
Well, I'm like, can you unlock this? I need those.
I mean, I need them right now.
Oh yeah, it's usually when you need them. But no, it's just like because I don't. it's one of those things you don't normally shop for. So it's like, oh, where is this? And then it's like, oh, it's behind this cabinet. You have to get someone to unlock it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, great. Now I have to talk to another person.
Oh, about my condoms.
It's like, well, it's just funny. It's just funny to me. And
Well, Hicklin introduced House Bill 1549, which calls for the restrictions on the sale of, quote, obscene devices in advance of the 2025 legislative session. And I do have to admit, I've seen a picture of them. In fact, it's our thumbnail for the episode, and they are just kind of sitting out there right next to like the Rolaids. It's kind of weird. And I guess if you're there with children, it could spark some conversations that parents might feel a little uncomfortable with.
I don't even
But
know.
the answer is it's just a massager. That's what you tell them, no matter what.
Wasn't it like in the 90s, they had like gas station pornography magazines where they had put dividers up, and it had to be like on a certain shelf.
I mean, that sounds
You know what I'm talking
logical.
about?
I mean, that's typically where they put them, was up high and was stuff in front of them. But
Yeah, but then I don't see that anymore.
I don't think anybody buys those magazines anymore.
I have no idea. So I was just, maybe there's a law.
It's
maybe.
all digital now.
But so I'm trying to compare the laws. Like, I bet there's a law or some stupid thing. Now, I like this because it lets people search the internet for more creative things.
This is true. Hicklin wants to limit the sales of sex-oriented businesses to sex-oriented businesses only. If her bill passes, other retailers could be fined up to $5,000 for each violation. It says they're currently sold at Target, Walmart, and CVS and Walgreens.
Is there an age limit?
That's a good question. You have to be 18 to buy
I don't know.
buy a dill? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, play my sex and drugs music as we move on to the next segment of Sex and Drugs.
What?
Oh, man, you can't hit the post. Come on, I let it perfect for you.
I have no idea what you're doing, dude.
It's all there. Yeah! That's right.
I still like the original premise what I thought this was going to be.
Sex and drugs?
Which one would you do first? Would you do
You're free to answer that question.
No, and you make combinations. So it's like Ambien, and then like
What are the results?
The Baywatch models. It's like, which one do you want to do first?
That's where your mind went? Hey, that's where your mind
I
went.
know, I'm a dirty
Dirty
boy.
man. Proposed Texas bill would ban the sale of all THC products. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says, boo. They're trying to ban all these Delta 9 products that are somehow skirting the law here in Texas, and I have a feeling this is going to pass. This is the stuff you claim to be allergic to, whatever. But I will say this.
I definitely am.
I will say
I found
this.
out again this weekend.
Part of the problem, I don't care about this. I really think this stuff should be legal, me personally. But what I find interesting is it's virtually unregulated. And so some of these cans of THC soda will have like 4 milligrams. Some of them will have 10. Some of them will have 25. And some of them will have all the way up to like 100 milligrams of THC in it. That's a lot of THC, dude. And the thing is, the cans are essentially all the same size.
250 is recommended.
Recommended for what?
For a good time.
To be completely high out of your mind. Yeah. And so I think if you're...
To go to the other side.
That's a lot. Yeah, exactly. The other side. And they're all the same. They're all the same, 12 ounces or whatever. And so you may not understand exactly how much 100 is as compared to 4. But my thought is just regulate it. Put a cap on it. Say like 10's the most you can put per volume. And that way they have to sell more of it and drink more of it.
Is that what the issue is?
That's part of it.
Okay.
It's part of it. And they say that it's aimed at children with the marketing and getting these drugs into the hands of children younger and easier and faster and faster. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's the way that's what they're claiming. So,
I mean, the whole world is the Wild West. I don't really understand what it is. Meaning, like, there is no right regulation.
I do find it interesting, though, that technically marijuana is illegal in the state of Texas, but somehow we can just change one little strand in the.
What did I say at the beginning of this show? It's all about finding loopholes, baby.
That's right. And somebody did. We're going to change the chemical composition of this THC by just enough. Call it Delta 8 or 9 instead of 8.
Those stoners,
and we're good.
They're freaking nerds.
This is true. Well, this is House Bill 1325. So we got 1325 and 14, whatever it was, that are trying to ban sex and drugs in Texas. And I, for one, am putting my foot down. I say sell the toys. They need to combine them. You could have a THC-infused sex toy. This is audience of one.
I bet there is one. Let's see if I can look it up.
Look it up on your phone and
not
on city property. We have a story here from a listener. This is listener feedback, so we always appreciate it when you guys send us articles and items to talk about here on the Audience of One show. This is from listener Eric.
There's lube.
But a missing kangaroo named Rowdy escapes in Sealy near I-10, and the owner is pleading for help. Somebody here locally has lost their pet kangaroo. Dick, have you seen any kangaroos hopping around Interstate 10 here lately?
No. Oh, I got one. It's a cannabis-infused C-ring that's designed to be kissed and licked.
What does C stand for?
I don't know. Oh, that's funny. There you go.
Rowdy, a 5-foot-tall, 70-pound kangaroo, was last seen at 4:15 a.m. near a truck stop off of I-10 and Pica Road, according to his owner,
That's kinda wild.
Marcia Mattis. When we came outside and saw his empty enclosure, it was devastating. We just want him back. So anybody out there listening, and you happen to see a 5-foot-tall kangaroo who responds to the name Rowdy, he needs to be returned to his home ASAP. All right, man, that's a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about selling your likeness to AI. We'll be right back, guys.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
And we are back with Audience of One here on Lone Star Community Radio, hanging out before Christmas, getting ready to wrap up the year, looking forward to 2025 with more onesie stuff. Just to remind you guys, you can always send in your funny articles.
Like kangaroos escaping off the interstate.
I mean, audienceofoneshow@gmail.com. That's how we like to be contacted, or visit our Facebook page. And then we're on podcasts everywhere. Just look up Audience of One Show with Andrew and Dick. And then, are you trying to finish my sentences? Am I?
It's subliminal. I'm just saying.
Okay, I won't miss this.
I'm just putting
You can always sponsor and donate anytime. Just visit us online at our show website, irlonestar.com/AOO. New episodes every Friday at 10 a.m., part of the morning programming here at Lone Star Community Radio.
All of your sponsorships and donations are fully 100% tax deductible.
Yep.
Just keep that in mind, everyone, if you're looking to store some cash somewhere.
Starting to
end of the year.
get used to living on the streets.
You know, I got to thinking, I'm going to need to get over to Target and or Walmart before that congressional session opens in 25. I'm going to have, I got to pick up some goods. Just going to throw that out there.
Maybe that's what I should get for the white elephant.
Right. And it can become a collector's item.
Man, you know, well, because it is an adult one. You know how awesome that would be? It's like getting a bong. Because you know there would be like a grandma there. And like, what is that?
Oh, I think she'll know. They know. They're smarter than you think. Speaking of gifts, have you ever received or known someone who's received a pet as a gift?
My brother. Well, I guess he didn't receive it. He bought one for his kids.
Okay, that's different.
Okay.
That's different because it's really buying it for yourself. Let's be honest. The kids aren't going to take care of the dog. So you're just using the holidays as an excuse to get a family pet. No,
Yeah.
this would just be like you give a dog to a friend of yours at Christmas time or birthday.
No.
I think that is a really, really dicey situation to do, especially if you don't know if the person really wants an animal. Or maybe they just mentioned it in passing and you're like, oh, I thought you were a dog person. Here you go. Because that is a long commitment. Do you ever feel like people who don't have pets have to pretend that they're allergic so that they won't get like scrutiny from pet owners? Because anytime you meet somebody like, I don't have any cats or dogs, you're like, oh, you're missing out on so much. Animals bring so much joy to your life.
Yeah.
But if you just say, no, I'm allergic, they're like, oh, that's
I don't
shucks.
know.
I feel like they make that up just in case.
Well, I would too.
Right, exactly.
I do that a lot with different social scenarios. I make up a bunch of stuff.
You feel like,
So
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
allergic to Delta 9. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to. Sorry, bro. I don't want to get high. I don't get high.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think giving animals as gifts is a real smart idea. Just
I
gonna
think
throw
it's
that
pretty
out there.
ballsy, especially if
It
it's
is.
not in a family unit scenario. Mm-hmm. Now, like getting, like, because what's weird to me about animals. Like I never like I grew up with dogs and whatever, but I never had a
You
dog.
weren't raised by them, though.
But I never had my own dog until I got married and
Sure.
we got a dog. But now I'm not married and I still have the dog. And I'm like, I love this dog. Like this morning we had some time together. We had our little morning coffee and walk around. Let's go kill some stuff. Let's see what we can find. That's usually our morning now.
Beautiful story.
It is. She's a great dog. But then I realized when she dies, I'm probably never getting another dog.
Yeah.
Unless someone gives me a dog.
There you go. Unless you get one as a gift.
Yeah. Like I realized that because I'm not like I'm a huge dog lover, but I'm not a dog person where I need to have a dog.
Right.
Now, if I hunted or something, or
Sure.
if I lived on like 15 acres and I wanted my dog to kill some stuff, like I'm down.
I feel like I've seen that on movies where guys will give their girlfriend a puppy or something.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, man, that's kind of
Well, it's like giving someone a car. Because like
that never happens either.
well, no, like it probably does, but it's such a weird circumstance because
Look, honey, $800 a month for the next 72 months.
well, that's what I'm saying. It's like we kind of agreed on getting this, but I went ahead and pulled the trigger.
right. Yeah.
Those are the scenarios I imagine getting. Because I remember my dad got my mom a car, and they when he got it, it happened to be around Christmas. So they're like, hey, do you want us to put a bow on it? Like the dealership was, and he's like, sure. And I remember like talking to my dad about it. I go, I don't think this is a good idea. And he's like, why? I was like, because mom's going to think this is a gift. Like,
I mean, it kind of is.
it is, but it's like, but when it comes to Christmas,
Yeah.
you're setting the expectation pretty high.
Yeah. You're not coming back from this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've reached the pinnacle with that.
So it was kind of interesting. It
Yeah.
was one of those weird
No cars, no
dynamics.
automobiles, no animals
no
for Christmas.
pets.
Yeah. Let's
Well,
let's stay away from that.
You should get like a goldfish. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Because that's like what is that commitment for 2 weeks or something like that?
Just basically.
Yeah.
My luck, I'd have the one that lasts for
Or
years.
you could do that. You could be like the crazy uncle and give them the pet. See, that's even better.
To get back at your brother or sister.
Yeah, or like whatever. Like like they don't have enough pets. You're like, we need to get them. That'd be so funny.
Yeah. Dick, do you ever play trivia at restaurants? I'm not sure when this became kind of popular to have those devices in like the restaurant bar types, but that became popular probably 15, 20 years ago to do that. And I never like to do it because I don't want to seem like an idiot in front of everybody and not know. And some of them will allow you to kind of be anonymous. You kind of looking around the place going, I think that person's playing over there, but I can't quite tell. And I don't know what name they are on the screen. I might in those situations do it, but otherwise, if it's a known commodity thing, I ain't playing in public because I don't know a lot of trivial stuff. So you seem like the type guy that does and would engage in trivia activity at
Oh,
restaurants.
100%.
Yeah, you're not scared if you look stupid.
Oh, not at all. I am what I am.
The audience of one show, everyone. Fridays at 10 a.m.
Well, actually, what's funny you say that is that's one reason why I hate going to Buffalo Wild Wings
Yeah.
because they have a trivia game.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And every time my buddies want to go there, I'm like, cool, like the wings are okay, but it's like, I'll go. And next thing I know, within 10 minutes, no one's talking to one another. Mm-hmm. They're playing the trivia game on their phone.
Yep.
And I'm like, what am I doing here, guys? Like, are we playing?
They're trying to figure out the Russian ice skater from the 1970 Olympics who won silver.
And if people don't know what I'm talking about, so if you go to Buffalo Wild Wings, it's a sports bar restaurant, and they have TVs everywhere. And every like third TV, you'll see a graphic that's like a trivia game. Mm-hmm. And you can now, you have to request like a little device, but now it's on your phone, so it's really easy. Anyone can play.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's a conversation killer until you make that the conversation. So that's what I had to do. I was like, all right, I'll download this stupid app, and then we're going to bet money on this.
Let's make it fun.
Yeah. I was like, hey, next round, whoever has to cover the tip, whoever the lowest person score. But yeah, like the trivia stuff I enjoy. It's always fun, especially if it's like nerd stuff, because
Yeah, they definitely have different categories.
because like I went to a Star Trek one, and I loved it because I didn't know any of it, and I was like, I forgot about that. And I immediately went home and started watching Star Trek. So if I wanted to get a little boost,
Yeah, to beef up your skills a little bit.
it's pretty amazing what people know about Lord of the Rings and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Some of these people absorb themselves in trivial matters, and those are the type of people that are typically really good at those.
Yeah.
I don't have enough room in the brain for all that stuff, I guess. I don't
Well,
know. I'm embarrassed to say
I
it.
will say I dislike places that have trivia night and it takes over the bar. Because like say you go over to a place, you're like, I just want to have a drink, and you get in there, and all of a sudden, like 20 minutes into your establishment stay, it's like, all right, you nerds, who's ready for some trivia night? And I'm like, oh, crap.
Woo-hoo, yeah.
And then what's worse is when it's the trivia night that has to do with music. So they have to
Play
this
the music, yeah.
And I'm like, come on. And, yeah.
About as bad as the table next to you getting a happy birthday song sung to them while they have sombreros and jingle
Yeah,
bells
that's
and everything
short.
else.
That's short.
Yeah,
I'm cool with
right,
that.
it goes on and on and on.
Actually, if anything, I'll join in on it. I'll be like, happy birthday, man. But the trivia thing, depending on what kind of, I don't know what the craziest trivia thing you've ever been to, but I went to one that was all music. And so the DJ had us talk the entire time. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. So those are the ones I kind of hate. But then again, it is what it is.
Cool, man. Cool. I'm going to go a little bit of out of order here from the run sheet, but I was watching the movie 8-Bit Christmas last week. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie.
8-Bit Christmas?
8-Bit
Yeah, I saw
Christmas.
it.
Yeah, it's a great flick. Basically, it's Journey's a young boy's attempt to get a Nintendo back in the winter of 1988, I believe. Well, in the movie, they find an error baseball card that they're able to sell for $92, which goes to help fund payment for said Nintendo. Well, what I wasn't aware that's actually, this error card was a real thing. I thought it was made up for the movie, and apparently
It had the F word on it.
it had the F word on it. And I may have actually inadvertently found a movie continuity error because the movie took place in 1988 and this card is from 1989. So I don't know if I actually found something or whatnot. But yes, there was a Bill Ripken card made by Fleer in 1989 that had the word F, except it was spelled out, face on the bottom of his bat. So you picture Billy Ripken sitting there with a bat up kind of on his shoulders, and you could see the butt of the bat, and it says F word face on it. Now, there was immediately when this was found, it caused mass hysteria in the baseball card community, obviously because of the obscene message at the bottom. And there were numerous rumors on how this occurred, including a scenario where Fleer wrote it on the card deliberately to increase sales. But that turned out to not be true. Another rumor was that Bill's famous brother, Cal Ripken, wrote it on Bill's bat to embarrass him. But in reality, it was Bill himself who wrote the message on the bottom of the bat as a practical joke. Fleer didn't catch the prank, produced the card, and birthed one of the most famous error cards of all time.
Well, what I like about that, too, is it's not technically an error.
You're right. No, that's actually a really good point.
So
An error card, for those of you who don't know, is something about the card that is factually incorrect that can make the card's intrinsic value higher. So, for instance, they may have put an incorrect stat, or they misspelled his name, or something like that.
I think the most famous one was I think it was Ken Griffey.
Almost. Keep trying.
Ken Griffey, they said he was a catcher.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Something like that.
Right.
And it's like, no, he's never played catcher ever.
Correct.
And then there's also cards that do that on purpose. And
You said do.
Well, they're not technically error because there's one player that's played all positions.
Okay. Oh, so they just list them all
Yeah.
out.
So, that was the thing where it was like, if you collected them all, it'd be worth whatever. And but the error, that's not an error. That's just
it's just an oddity.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fake just for the movie, but no, it really does exist. The F-face Bill Ripken error card, or not error card. Anyways, thought that was interesting. I may have one of those cards. I doubt it was the one that has the F face on it, because I collected baseball cards around that time, and I'm looking at this card here, and I'm like, I have cards that look like this. I don't know that I have the Bill Ripken, but maybe I'll go back and check. Still got them laying around.
Yeah.
All right, love this story. This is the ultimate Karen story. A Florida woman was banned from her dream $350,000 cruise as her WhatsApp chats were leaked. Check this out. Jenny Phoenix, 68, sold her possessions ahead of a 3-year Villavier Odyssey's maiden voyage, but her contract has now been canceled. A woman who sold everything to fund a $350,000 dream trip around the world was barred from the cruise ship after her private WhatsApp comments were made exposed. So it doesn't give exact things that she says, but apparently there was some delays in this cruise, and she went online to a WhatsApp to express her frustrations, along with other passengers that were doing the same. But my thinking is she probably amped it up. And the the WhatsApp chat got up to the parent company, and they said, fine, we're just going to void your contract. If you don't like us that much, you can suck it. She was also voiced concerns about potential outgoing reimbursement work after the crews depart from Belfast and the possibility of having to use a temporary cabin since the one registered under her name was still occupied by crew members. And her messages, like I said, were shared with the Villa Vie residences, the cruise ship operators, who then canceled her contract. And she said, it was for behavior impacting the community morale. So I guess they thought this woman was conjuring everybody up and getting them riled up, I guess I should say, with some negative energy, and they didn't want all those people on the boat. But I think she was out like $30,000. I guess those were like her down payments or whatever. But she, because she couldn't keep her mouth closed on social media, was no longer able to take her trip.
No, I don't think that's the reason.
What do you think the reason is?
So what it sounds like is she signed up for this actual like living on a ship.
$350,000. She sold all of her possessions.
So what they're arguing is she was talking. What it sounds like they were she was in a WhatsApp group with other people on the ship.
That's correct.
And then when it got into the word of the captain, she's going to create this environment for the community, meaning they're all going to live on that ship for over 3 years or something.
Yeah, it's like a 3-year-long voyage.
That's probably why they kicked her out, not because she's talking trash, but
well,
no one wants a negative Nancy.
Right,
for
exactly.
3 years.
Exactly. She's online trash, and then we're like, yeah, we don't need this. We don't need your negativity, ma'am.
Because
she's already paid her initial
She didn't
deposit.
go to social media. She just, the text group.
Well, that's the thing. When
snitch in the text group goes to the captain and be like, yo, dog.
Or the captain was just reading them. I don't know.
It might have been in the group, yeah.
He may have been on the group.
Yeah.
So she couldn't keep her mouth shut, and now she's out some money, Dick.
I want to see the texts.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I wish they would have posted that.
See, I want more of that. I want to see how bad she really was. I can see her being really bad.
Yeah, it would have to be, right?
Yeah.
It would have to be, because I can't imagine that there's a waiting list for people with that amount of cash to go out on a boat for 3 years, right? They probably want all of the customers.
Would you do
that? No. No, I'm good on terra firma, bruh. I'm good right here.
I think I would do that in space.
You know?
Now, why not?
For 3 years? I think I'd freak out. I get freaked out in an elevator, so I mean, like, space would be.
You gotta be pretty alone.
I mean, it's the final frontier, you know.
Is it?
All right, this is a story, Dick, that I know you will be very, very interested in. From porn star to pixelated pleasure.
Hey, I saw this.
Chloe Amore, a 33-year-old adult film star, has revealed that she sold her likeness to an artificial intelligence company to reduce the pressures on her demanding career.
Didn't I send you the article of the? Didn't I send you the article of the dude creating the AI model?
I think we've had several of these.
No, he like created a fake account on OnlyFans, and it was like an AI model he designed.
Yeah,
and,
there were several of them.
and no one knew. And he was just like making. I think he was making a couple grand a month.
This chick wasn't even real.
And she was never real, and he just did it as like
that's awesome.
See if he could get away with it.
Is there anything illegal that he did though?
I don't know.
Because that's kind of genius. Well, the Las Vegas-based performer has spent years working with major studios in the adult film industry and being a real-life pretty woman, but her workload has just continued to bulge. She decided to use a virtual alter ego to interact with her fans when she's just unavailable. I'm sorry, guys. I can't let you... I was going to say something. I had to catch myself there.
Oh, look at you. I'm so proud of you.
How will I word this? I just don't have the time.
I'm surprised they don't
to perform said act.
Yeah,
I'll have to have my AI virtual step in for me.
Well, I'm surprised it isn't already a thing.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I kind of am as well.
Well, especially if
but her fans are outraged. They're kind of pissed about it because they're paying their monthly whatever to her OnlyFans, and when she steps out, due to the demanding business demands of being a porn star, they've got a fake one in there, and they're like, I know it's fake, man. I know it's fake. Bring in the real Chloe.
Man. I don't know. I'm not.
There's pictures over here. I think the one on the left is real Chloe, and the one on the right is fake AI Chloe. And fake it to me, man. I don't care. I really don't care.
I was like, it's kind of weird to me. I don't know. I don't know that world.
It says this move was not only a way to ease her workload, but also a part of a growing trend in the adult entertainment industry where performers are utilizing AI to maintain their presence online. I just can't perform today. I'm a little bit tired. Gotta have a stunt double come in for me.
I mean, couldn't you do that for people who are aging out of like an industry like that?
True that, because she is 33. I have to admit that's a little long in the tooth for the adult actors, don't you think? 33? She's right on that cusp.
I'm more of like, you know that woman Elvira?
Yes, you have brought her up a couple of times on this show. Mm-hmm.
Like she's the creature of the night, whatever, queen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like, if I was her, that's what I would do.
Yeah, you're right. You don't have to worry about aging that way.
And you can get away with it saying like, oh, I never did nudity. It's AI.
And the AI version of you's probably a little more flexible.
What's
what I'm saying? That might be kind of cool.
I don't really get it. Who cares?
Like I can't possibly put my ankles there, but AI version of me certainly can. What are you looking at? You're staring at something outside the studio window.
No, someone texted me and said they're trying to deliver something and they can't get in. I'm like, well, what are we talking about here? This building's pretty big.
Do they not know we're on air?
I don't know. There's no sign.
How rude.
But that's why that's why I'm concerned someone's going to knock on the door while we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, we can just have to pause it.
Yeah.
Like I said, they were very upset. Some of her customers. It's very transparent because I'm aware that this is AI. It's not her physically behind the device communicating with you, and that's what they were paying for. They want the real deal, bruh.
Again, that world's so volatile. It's like, go for it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Because you would have to put like "made with AI" on a little sticker.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but then again, like it's weird. That's weird to me. I think it's because we know what it reminds me of. It reminds me of there's a streamer. I'm not really big in the whole streaming community, but it is a big community. You can't deny it's a big community. And there was a streamer out there who uses I don't know. It's not necessarily AI, but it's a cover. It's like a filter, and they look like a little Asian girl, and it's a cartoon. So the whole thing when she's talking and doing stuff, it's just watching her face, watching her movements, and it's creating this art style, and like the whole stream is that way. So you don't know what this person actually looks like. And
probably a fat old man. Just gonna throw it out.
It was a great voice modulator because she's streaming live, playing games and stuff. So I always wondered. I was like, I wonder how that would work if you start doing something 18 plus. And it's like you already have this brand, and it's like people can just copy that and make whatever. So I don't really know. It's not the world I'm into. So
well, you certainly can't have an AI replacement for every job. Like I mean, maybe this one. We've kind of done this before.
We need an AI Tom Hanks.
But it is kind of interesting that you can be a porn star, which is already an interesting way to make your living, and somehow sub out a fake person and still rake in cash. She said when you're booked for shoots, you're at the beck and call of that company. You're going to be on set for anywhere for 4, 6, 8, 10, or even 12 hours. That's a long day of some sex right there.
Drugs.
So, she needing drugs. Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, like I said, I'll have to keep an eye on this story because I find it interesting.
That's not interesting at all.
Okay. You don't find that interesting?
No.
How about the world's fastest rapper? You into that?
Sure, you want me to play him?
Yeah, man. Play this this clip I got pulled up, but you got to be real careful on the cussing. But I want you to hear this guy. His name is Twista, and he's been around for a while.
One more time. My stamina rocking the rhythm, my stamina rocking the lyrical, breaking them up in the flow of the lyrical manifestation, put them in the lyrical lock.
All right, gotta have to bring that down. Awesome. So, Dick, what did he say there? I have to admit, it did sound like he was saying real words.
Yeah.
However, I could not distinguish a single one of them. It does kind of sound a little bit like the Micro Machines guy. You remember the Micro Machines guy was the fastest talker back in the 80s? He was selling commercials for Micro Machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of reminds me of that, but I don't know that he's actually saying anything. Just going to throw that out. I don't know.
This guy right here.
Super speedy information. It's got data compression so you can store more stuff with less fluff and no muffs. Reorganize your files fast.
If you're wondering what this is all about,
Yeah.
Motor Mouth.
So Motor
But at
Mouth.
least you could understand what he was saying. Twista there, you really can't. But I
Maybe
find it
you can.
impressive, though.
Maybe you can. I don't know. Some people can hear that fast.
Right? Is there a speed for hearing?
How about that AI porn star could?
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
With AI, we can do anything.
Yeah, we can. The weather's still kind of crazy. I talk about it every week now, it seems, because we're at that time of year where it's warm and then cool and warm and it's cool. And my grass is still growing, and I had to weed eat the grass the other day, the edge.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about something. Every time I weed eat, I have to put in fresh weed eater string. Where does the weed eater string go, Dick? Where does it go? Now, I understand if one flies off, it breaks and you can find it in the yard. You got the orange thing laying out there. But
imagine this. You take your eraser.
Where's it going?
Take your eraser. And go to the concrete and just go like that.
Well, I see all the erasure ends there.
Yeah.
So are you telling me there's little bits of I think it's Weed Eater cord conspiracy here. I never find it. I'm like, where's this stuff going to? You've never thought about this stuff?
I mean, I know it's flying other places.
Are we breathing it in?
Yeah, probably.
I guess it's kind of like, it's akin to tires on a car.
Yeah.
They slowly wear down. Where is that stuff going? On the highway, and then eventually up into the air for us
God.
to breathe. To God. Yeah.
To God. To heaven. To heaven.
I suppose.
All right. Well, it's Christmas.
You all right? You
Yeah.
you doing a reset
I'm
there?
still waiting until someone tries to come in this door.
Yeah, you seem awfully distracted. All right, we only got a couple more stories here, and then we'll wrap it up for the new year. A recent McKinney North High School graduate is walking proof of the marvels of modern medicine. On Wednesday, Trevor Dutton, not Yellowstone Dutton, met the team who created an artificial skull plate that doctors surgically implanted in his recovery from a serious car accident. This is pretty crazy, a little scary, but on a spring break road trip to Florida in March of this year, Dutton was critically injured when the car he was in was struck by another vehicle in Mobile, Alabama. He suffered life-threatening head injury that caused brain swelling. And so the doctors at the University of South Alabama had to remove half of the left side of his skull to relieve pressure on his brain. And he was left in a coma. We talked about this last week, for almost a week before his condition gradually improved enough for him to be transported back to Texas, where he began his rehabilitation treatment. He was still missing that huge portion of his skull, and he needed to wear a protective helmet during his waking hours. But here this week, he was outfitted with a fake skull. That is wicked, dude. Now imagine having to go through, in between that time period, between the incident and the surgery, with a huge hole in your head, a missing skull. That is...
My brother had something similar where they had to blow
So
up.
scary,
They
man.
put a balloon in his skull
Yeah?
and they pumped it up so he had looked like a big old zit.
Wait, there's a cartoon character that had that look like that with the big old huge bulging head.
Yeah,
Can't think of it at the moment.
it was pretty gnarly.
What was that for? Why did it happen?
When he got electrocuted,
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
An exit was in his skull, so he basically didn't have any skin or anything. So what the doctor did was stretch out other side of the skin, and then after you stretch it out so long, you can do a little comb over. So when I see him, I'm like, "How's the comb over?"
Because I know what you're hiding under there.
Yeah.
And
It's
now,
pretty-
and what sucks with Party City now being out, the availability of balloons, it's gonna be a little bit tougher, man.
yeah.
I feel for guys like that.
I just remember seeing him one morning, and I was going to, I think it was in third grade, and he was walking around with a robe, and it was just kind of doing this. I was like, "Are you top heavy?" It was pretty funny.
Bump it up. It says it's been really amazing and gratifying to see the progress over the last 35 years where we can make a skull flap like Trevor's in just a few hours and have it ready for surgery, and we can essentially change his life forever. They used a CT scan of his skull to get
Yeah,
a
3D
detailed
printer and
Yeah,
everything.
these 3D printing skulls, man.
Yeah.
What is the world coming to? Pretty cool. My note here, though, he is planning on attending college next year, or this fall, at Texas State University, my alma mater.
Oh, cool. Party school.
It is, yeah. Got to be careful of that skull as he's doing keg stands, though.
Yeah.
So, Trevor, watch out. But super scary.
Wear that brain helmet, bruh.
That's right. That's right. All right, this is the quick hit here at the end of the show. Dick, are you aware of who Dick Felt is?
Yes. I actually do know who this is.
And why might you know who Dick Felt is?
Because he was in the news recently, I think.
Well, it couldn't have been too recent because he died in 2012, but he was an American football defensive back who played college football at Brigham Young University and professionally with the New York Titans. I guess that was kind of before the NFL was a thing, but his name was Dick Felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I'd be going by Richard. I don't know. Felt's a pretty awesome name no matter what. But with a first name like Dick, you're just kind of asking for ribbon. So do you have the Dick Felt error card in your collection?
No, but I don't know why I heard that name recently. I think they were talking about the new incoming class, and there's people with weird names, and one of them was yeah, it just reminds me of Dick Felt. So
Richard, Chisler,
see, that's not good humor.
Felt,
That's not
Dick,
funny.
Felt,
That's not appropriate.
Dick.
That's not audience in one material.
Well, he scored the winning touchdown for the Titans against the Buffalo Bills on the Thanksgiving Day of 1961. and he was a 2-time AFL All-Star selection. So we salute you, Mr. Dick Felt. And
There you go.
Sir, that is absolutely 100% an audience of one story.
I agree.
Awesome, buddy. Well, I hope you have a safe and prosperous and Merry New Year. Hopefully your Christmas present will be here so I can gift it to you next week.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I am so excited to give it to you. I don't know if you'll be able to show it on camera or not.
Here we go.
Yet to be seen. That will be your call, but hopefully we'll have it next week so that we can entertain the onesies. So,
Well, we'll be back hopefully next week. We're still figuring that out because the holidays is a little complicated.
yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to get in a show or not
But
next
always
week. I
stay
don't know.
tuned and
We'll see.
follow us on Facebook for more updates.
Will do, and hopefully the guy outside is not coming trying to get into the studio.
I have a feeling that's what's about to happen.
Alrighty.
All right.
Next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.